This is a video for AQA Discrete Mathematics. This is Graphs and Networks section 3.4, where we're considering multiple sources and sinks in network flows. Well, the sort of networks that we've been looking at so far have what are called a single source and a single sink. In other words, there's one node where the arcs are coming out of it and none going in, and there's another node T where all the arcs are coming into it and none going out. It's possible to have networks with multiple sources or multiple sinks, and we need to think about, well, how do we deal with these? So here, for example, is a network. For example, it may well represent three reservoirs, P, Q and R, that through a network of pipes are supplying two towns, Y and Z, with water. So you can see that P, Q and R are the sources because they have arcs which are just coming out. There are no arcs going into P and none going into Q and none going into R. Y and Z are sinks because all of the arcs are going into those points and none coming out. So the way we deal with this is very straightforward. In fact, we add in what is known as a super source and a super sink. And we have to then think about, well, okay, if we do that, what weights are needed? So here's the super source coming in, and let's look at that to start off with. We might label it as S. Say, right, let's look at what we need coming out from S to P. Well, S to P goes into a pipe of capacity 12, so SP needs to supply a value of 12 to P. Similarly, SQ must supply 10. But if we look at S to R, it's got to supply both from R to V and from R to W. So therefore we've got a total of 17 that comes into S to R. So that deals with our super source. Now at the other end of the diagram we've got a super sink, which I'm going to label as T. And again, we just need to think about, well, what are the capacities of the arcs that are going from each of Y and Z into T? Well, the one from Y to T has got to be sufficient to take the 10 and the 8 that are coming into Y. So that must be of capacity 18. And then the arc coming from Z to T has got to satisfy the 7 and the 10 which are coming into Z, so therefore total of 17. Once we've done that, we can then deal with this new network, including its super source and super sink, in exactly the same way as we did with the other networks where we had a single source and a single sink. So we could look at cuts, etc. in this one and possible flows. Well, that's the end of this video on multiple sources and sinks, and indeed it completes the set of videos on graphs and networks.